So it says, Ezekiel 34, verse 30, thus shall they know that I, the Lord their God, am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith the Lord the Most High. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pastor, are men, and I am your God, saith the Most High. Right? And it says, the Most High, he's your God, man. The God of the so-called blacks and indigenous people of North, Central, and South America, man. He's your God. So that's something to tell these fake parties, man. Right? These fake Christians. These fake imams. The God of the whole heaven and universe is the God of our people and none else, man. That's right. And we're the sheep of his pasture. We're the sheep that the Most High leads and feeds us, man. That pasture, that greenery, man. And that greenery, spiritually, is this wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And the shepherds of those sheep are us, man, the prophets. The very same men that you see standing out here in the highways and hedges, man.
Psalms 23 and verse 1. The Lord Yahweh is my shepherd, and I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake.
Stop, read that one again from the top.
Psalms 23, starting verse 1 again. The Lord Yahweh is my shepherd, and I shall not want.
So now it goes into a prayer of David, man. Of Malak Dawadah, King David. And again, you have to put out there, he was a so-called black man too. A browner skin or a light skin so-called black man. And he said, what? The Most High, Yahweh, he is my shepherd. Man, I shall not want. Once you have this truth, you're free, man. You're not in need of nothing else. You don't trust in anything else other than Yahweh or Hashem Yahweh Shai. There's all manner of peace that comes with learning this knowledge, man.
That's right.
That's true happiness. It's knowing Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai in truth. Knowing these scriptures in truth, man. Come on now.
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures.
See, what did he say?
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures.
Maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Who's lying down in green pastures? Sheep. And who are the sheep? The Israelites. And that shows you that there's no such thing as free will. Because that he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. So it's the Most High that brought us to this truth. He's the one that brought us into this holy tabernacle. It's all a spiritual thing. Come on.
He leadeth me beside the still waters.
Right.
He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake.
Exactly, showing you that the green pastures is the paths of righteousness. So that gives you the answer to what those green pastures was. It's the paths of righteousness. Okay? Coming up.
He leadeth me beside the still waters. Yeah, I read that one. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, the valley, who dwelt in the valleys and the caves of the earth? Esau.
Right.
You know? But they said that even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, right? I shall fear no evil, man. Because that's during the time of evil and a time of great ignorance and darkness, and gross darkness itself, where everybody is ignorant of the Heavenly Father and his judgment and his wisdom and knowledge. Even though the sun might be out, We're living in a time of gross darkness. Why? Because the so-called white man has pushed out a very dark vibration
That's right.
in the planet Earth by promoting sin and wickedness, man, to its uttermost degree.
And he's
To its
blotted out
utmost
the light
degree.
of righteousness.
Huh?
I said he blotted out the light of righteousness
Yeah.
and filled the earth with wickedness.
Yeah, and that's why the scripture said that where that candle on a hill, where that city on a hill, excuse me, where that candle, right, in a house, man, where the light of the world, right? So it's a great tug of war or fight between good and evil, of two opposing forces that's struggling within this earth, within the womb of Rebecca, man. Jacob and Esau. But the good thing about it is that the Most High has good intentions towards his people, to give us an expected end, man. Meaning the good will prevail. Come on.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me.
Right.
Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
How can a rod and a staff comfort you, man?
This gives you correction.
A rod, what does that do? It beats you. When your father uses a rod to beat you, he does that in aims to correct you. But the scriptures actually educate a man on how to raise his son. To beat your son. Why? Because he won't die. The son won't die. Beat him oftentimes to save his soul from death, man. Let me get that slow. It says on Proverbs 23, verse 13, withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, right? If thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shalt deliver his soul from hell. There you go, man. There you have it. Okay? What else we have? So this is our Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasten him betimes. So maybe that again, it says, when you spare your rod, that really means you hate your son, man. So actually, the society that we're in teaches you to hate your children. You're supposed to beat your children, man. Right? That's love. That's love. You're actually teaching your son to be tough, man. Yeah. To know pain. You understand? To discipline your son. When he goes off, what do? You show him the other side of the spectrum. You show him a world of pain. When he goes off. Because if you don't correct your son, you're teaching him that it's okay to go off, man.
Exactly.
You're teaching him, you're putting a thumbs up for bad behavior. But when you beat your son, it's reward and punishment. Reward and punishment. Right? And the so-called white man, he's doing a marvelous job in teaching and educating the world how to hate your children, man. And this is why, man, and this is why people are, and they won't put it on the mainstream media. They won't put it there. But people are protesting, man, against the government because they don't want their children to be educated by drag queens.
That's right.
By naked men wearing thongs, man. whirling around on a damn pole, man, naked. But they won't put that on the mainstream media. They don't want the people to know how bad it is. People are protesting and demonstrating against the immorality of the so-called white man's world. It's a world based upon hate, but is packaged in the veneer of love. Love and equality and acceptance. The people are waking up to the corruption of this place. And this place is corrupt, is being destroyed from the inside out. We're going to be destroyed on both ends. The people are protesting against it, and then you got Russia, China, and all the countries the world over that will destroy it from the outside in by nuclear destruction. So, you know, well, bring it out.
Because you were saying that they're teaching all this wickedness but packaging it as love, but it's a misuse of the word love. Because what is love according to the scriptures? 1 John 5 and verse 3, for this is the love of God, that we give his commandments, and that his commandments are not grievous. So love according to the Bible is in fact the keeping of the commandments. Not some bullshit feeling you get in your chest that's warm and fuzzy. No, man, it's about the scriptures and about the law. Back to you.
There's second Ezra chapter 5. Let me start from verse 7. And the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night, which many have not known. But they shall all hear the voice thereof. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again. And the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. Have you not seen that? Menstruous women are bringing forth monsters, man. That's these unruly children. You see running up and down, killing one another. You often hear about it, man. These unruly Jake children. You see them running up and down in Chicago, New York, right? Looting on Walmart. You see them footages of Walmart getting looted by them little niggas, man. Running up and down. And then you see this local black woman running footage of the place. And then she's complaining about all these children. Yeah, but you raised them. These same children you're complaining about that's looting the stores, you raised them. But that's another way of bringing forth these little monstrous children, is getting rid of the fathers, man. Right? And that's what feminism was all about. Feminism was all about getting women apart the households, yeah, making women think that they're equal with men, not making them now very disrespectful towards men, right? And then rewarding women, paying women for getting rid of the fathers, man.
That's right.
Imagine that. You put a man on child support, and then you had to pay that woman for getting rid of the father to raise up them children in a single parent household. That's menstruous women bringing forward monsters, man. And you wonder why the children are so messed up. Because the father, he's the disciplinary figure. He brings order to the household. And now he's raising the children. The educational food system. Now the children are opening up their books and seeing what? Faggot cartoons.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know if you saw, but two teenage boys, they started lip-syncing in front of us. When you're talking about the school system,
I didn't even see that.
this is the thing. You're talking about the school system and how it's educating these children in a bad way. I just saw evidence of it right there. And to add to your point, I think you might have shared on TikTok or another brother. There have been cases where you've got Jake women who are having their homes destroyed by their unruly sons. Like smashing up the toilet, breaking down the fridge. And it's not just one video I've seen. It's quite a few of these Jake women. They're saying, "You've got my son here." And all the time, I'm thinking, well, where's the father in this picture? You know what I'm saying?
He got the hell away from her.
Exactly. She ran him off. She ran him out the scene. Now her child has now turned into a teenage monster. Some of them even beating up their own mothers, man, in their own home. Now that's going off because really, if you really strike your mum or your father, that's a sin unto death. But back to you.
But yeah, that's real. There's even been cases of that, of our Jake children dumping off their family simply because his phone got confiscated.
Yes.
Or some other shit. They tried to bring discipline to the child, and the child retaliated and swiped out the whole family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's monstrous. These monstrous children, man. And you see, now they're walking around. Now they've got knives. They're armed with knives and guns. You seen the footage of them, the little niggas running around with samurai swords and shit. The police pulling them over or taking them off the bus, only to find out he's got a big cutlass or something like that on him.
Yeah.
You would never have seen that back in my day. Probably would have got arrested for fighting or something like that, man. You know, fist fighting. That's the most they would have got. Or if there was a knife crime, that was very rare, man. That was very rare. You never heard of Jakes getting killed, man, and then just getting knifed up and murdered in the street. You never heard of that. Now it's frequent. Man. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say in my days it was fist fighting, or people used to wear these heavy metal belts. So they'll take their belt and they'll whip you and shit like that. But the knife crime, that started after I was kind of already past school age, around the early 2000s. It's probably 2000s when that child got stabbed up in Brixton. Was it Damilola Taylor? That's when it all really kind of started to, people started carrying World War IX around the early 2000s.
You know, now it's the norm. That's the new thing. Alright? But that goes into the where it says in I believe it's Isaiah, where they stand at the top of every high street like a wild bull in a net. Right?
That's Jake hanging on the corners, man.
Yeah. But that's the absence of the fathers in the household, man. And even I find out even when I'm dealing with women, man, the most problematic females to deal with are women that didn't know who their father was. They're the most problematic women to deal with, man, because they don't know what it's like to actually respect male authority in the house, man. So when it comes to dealing with boys or you know, the relationships, so forth and so on, they're not familiar with actually respecting a man, or being in the presence of a man and respecting his leadership or his guidance or his authority. They're not familiar with it, man. Right? But they were raised up in a single-parent household, mainly by the mom, man. And that mom, she didn't know what it's like to be in the presence of a man either. That's why her black ass is single.
Yeah, man. And all they can do is push more feminism on their children.
Yeah, further destroying the next generation. All in the name of feminism. And that was poison, man. That movement was straight up poison that the so-called black woman received in her valiant aims on joining hand in hand with Karen, man. Yeah. Right? And look what it's done to your households. You took the weapon of the so-called white man and used it against your own husband.
And your own children.
And your own children. But that's but you know, that's let me this real quick. So this is Psalms 94 verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? Read that again. shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? Right, the throne of iniquity has framed mischief by decreeing unrighteous decrees. Right? Now they're saying what? They're saying that if that the children can go and get a sex change without the consent of the parents. That if the parents try to intervene, then the children, then they can literally take the children away legally. The children can legally be taken away from the parents, man. And the children can get a sex change without the consent of the parents. You see, this is unrighteous decrees. This is and what they say, framing mischief by laws. Just polluting the minds of the next generation. Come on.
On the topic of children being allowed by Esau's laws to get sex change, that's in direct violation of the law according to the Bible. Leviticus 19 verse 28 says, and ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh. So you're not supposed to mutilate yourself, cutting up your penis and trying to get the doctors to show you some kind of fake vagina. That's going off, man. That's completely going off.
Yeah. You see that?
And it's really, look, this society doesn't deal with the spiritual aspect of things. Because really, if a man or a woman is given over to those kind of demons, really, they need to be taught scriptures to combat them demons, man. Because it's the demons that are telling them, yeah, you need to get sex change. Yeah, you might really be a boy, or you might really be a girl. And in the vast majority of cases, when people go through that kind of surgery, they end up living to regret it, man.
They regret, exactly.
And they end up taking their own lives. But they don't tell you that on the mainstream media.
I show you that the wisdom of this world is foolishness, man. It's stupid. It's all about pleasure.
Sorry?
That's the white man's world. Pleasure. Childishness, man. They know discipline. That's why death must follow. It has to come. That's the good news. Some people say, oh, it's negative. This is good news. This is love, man. We're out here spreading love. Right? Death to this man's world, man. Death to it. Destruction to it. That's beautiful. That's gospel. That's good news. You should be happy to hear that. Death to the so-called white man's world, man. That's beautiful news. So it says, prophet Isaiah 51, verse 20. In fact, let's start verse 19. These two things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction, and famine, and the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee? Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of Yahweh, the rebuke of thy God. That goes into what we're talking about, man.
Yeah.
And goes exactly what we were talking about. You see these so-called black boys, so-called, gonna say they're Israelites, right? Just the other week, there's two stabbings in 1 week. One of them got murdered, right? Just this on Brixton Road, man.
I street there.
Yeah, they had to tape off the police tape, buddy vans, ambulance vans. A crowd of our people around there. Turns out that whoever it was got killed. It is gang warfare, man. That's what it says, thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets. Yeah, right? They stick up kids, right?
Maybe spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. So a lot of these demonic children, they become vessels for those spirits of vengeance, man.
Yeah. That's why Jake glorifies in the streets. Being a roadside G. They glorify in the streets. There's some glorification of street culture. And there's nothing in it, man. There's nothing in these streets. There's nothing but immorality and disorder.
Like culture.
Yeah. It says, they lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in the neck. Because they think niggas are wild, man. They're wilder than my generation. And the younger generation, they're wild, man. They're more disrespectful. They're more disorderly. We read on, it says, they are full of the fury of Yahweh, the rebuke of that God. Right? So now, let's go back to what we were talking about.
I was reading Leviticus 19:28 about kindness in the flesh before that.
But yeah, you're reading our Psalms 9:23.
Oh yeah,
About the rod. Because we're going to thy rod and thy staff, they'll comfort me.
Yeah.
And how the rod is a disciplinary tool.
I got it, yeah.
Or a or instrument of chastenment that a father would use against his son to discipline his son. And that's an act of love. See, the wisdom in this world teaches that that's hate. You hate your son because you're beating him.
That's a narrow-minded view of it.
And Esau knows that's bullshit. Esau knows that's how to raise your children. But he's trying to create that false narrative, man. Right? What's that? Salah. It's in Wisdom of Solomon, Salah. So this Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 12. Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. Yea, she is easily seen of them that love her, and found of such as seek her. Right? So wisdom is glorious, and she's easily seen of them that love her. And that's why a nigga can't get it, man. Come up here, he's trying to understand, but he can't get it. Because it's not easily seen for him. Because wisdom will not enter into a malicious soul. Right? If you're of the elect, you're going to be of a quick understanding. Anyway, and there's a point I'm trying to get to. It says, verse 17, for the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. Right? The beginning of wisdom is the desire of discipline.
That's right.
And the care of discipline is love. The care of discipline is love. Is the white man's world based upon discipline? No. There's no love here. Only foolishness, folly, pleasure, nonsense, immorality, vanity. And this is why destruction is coming upon this place, man. You can see it. You can see it with your own eyes. 10 years ago, people thought we were crazy.
Yep.
America never be destroyed. Now you can see it. The whole world is chanting for the destruction of America. The whole world, man. The world over. It's not too far from thence. You'll see it in your lifetime. Verse 18, and love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. Hear that? Love is the keeping of discipline.
That goes back to what I quoted in verse 25. It ties up nicely.
Right. That's what I said, when you beat your son, what you in essence doing, you're disciplining your son. You love your son. But your son at the time, he hates you. Because your son is a child. You want to do what he want to do. And he doesn't understand the true essence and intentions of his father. He doesn't get it until later on when he grows up and he has children of his own. That's when he will appreciate how his father disciplined him. And then he'll love his father ever the more. Right? And most people, most men that were raised up by your father, were disciplined by